Welcome to The Person That Everyone Needs. I'm the host, Webb Hoggard, and today we are talking about New Year's. New Year's, new you, new plan, new direction, new destinations, new heights, new depths, new joys, new hopes. I hope today you are renewed for this new year and that you will be ready to run after it with all that you got. Today, what I want to share with you is a plan that I've talked about multiple times on the podcast, but I just want to remind you of some of the pieces that perhaps you need to get your mind around as we look at this new year of how to get to the direction that you want to go. I want to tell you, 2023 was a tough year in a lot of ways, but at the same time, my wife and I, we hit some checkpoints in our personal lives that I just could not believe. I'm amazed. And what it was, I think, really comes down to is each year, I made a plan. I prayed over it. I asked for God's help to endure it, to get through it, and to see it come to pass and all that. And He's helped us. He has helped us over and over again. He's helped us. He's blessed us. He's encouraged us when we got low, when I didn't think it was going to be possible. Over and over again, He's found a way to help us. And one of the blessings in my life has been this life plan that I try to organize direction each year around. And so I want to share it with you. It comes straight out of Scripture. Luke tells us in chapter 2 of verse 52 that Jesus grew up normally. Jesus grew up as a child, just like every other child. He grew up. Luke 2:52 says that He grew up in stature and in wisdom and in relationships with men and with God. Those are the four areas that I like to angle around each year. And sometimes it looks differently than others. And today I'm going to share with you some of my personal plans. And I hope to see them encourage others, but also I want to see them just continue to blossom in my life. The first area is in the area of stature. Now, obviously, most of us are adults. We're not growing physically anymore, but we ought to be doing whatever we can to maintain some level of health. That's physical health, and I would even put in there mental or emotional health. Like that's something that is on us. No one else has more influence on your health than you. We could spend our days talking about mama cooked me this or family heredity, but nobody is moving that spoon towards your mouth but you. And so if that's the problem in your life that you need to get a new perspective on health, like last week, I want to tell you, you've got permission to take advantage of that and do better. So the three areas that we talk about when we look at health always, your food intake, your exercise, and resting. Now, if you know me or if you were to get to look at me, you'd be like, well, you're a big man. How do you have any right to tell me what to do? Hey, look, intellectually, I know what the problem is. But, over the years, I have been working on this in my personal life, and I'm getting closer to my goals, probably slower than I want to. But the truth is, it's not that we're trying to get it all there in 1 year. We can't get to our destiny in 1 year. We have to have the long view. And so this year, maybe you want to cut out something in your diet, or maybe you want to increase. One of the things I'm planning to increase this year is I want to take a walk every single day. Walking is good for your mental health. It's obviously good for your physical health, but it will help you to think through your thoughts. It helps you to just gain a new perspective by walking around. Also, it allows you, if you have any neighbors near you, it allows you to lay eyes on other people, and sometimes that opens the door for you to share your life, share about Jesus. And so I think walks are very healthy and very helpful to many of the things that we want to accomplish in our lives. And in health, remember, it's emotional and physical. Like, you need the mental health as well. Do whatever it is that sometimes you need to take and do a thankful journal. Some of you need to, perhaps this year you need to pick up counseling. You need to get through some things in the past. Do whatever you have to remain healthy. The second area is the area of intellectual. Usually I put this in the area of like books or podcasts that I want to listen to this year, creating plans for direction or what. Some of you today, you might want to create a motto for yourself or a mantra of some sort that you can meditate on this year to encourage your mental strength. But there are other areas intellectually, and the Scripture says wisdom. Jesus grew in wisdom. I want to tell you three areas of your life that you need to increase your wisdom. The first area is in how to handle money. How to handle money is very, very important, and we all ought to be people who handled our finances open-handed because they are not our God. We don't bow down to them, but at the same time with great wisdom because they do matter. How you handle money and how you handle your time matters. So the first thing you need to do is I think you need to make a budget for yourself, perhaps with some goals of what you want to save this year, the direction that you want to go. I know you probably feel like you're just surviving, but maybe you want to put a small goal of some savings. Eventually, there's a lot of other things, and you'll have a lot of gurus to help you with that, but retirement is important, and emergency funds and all that kind of stuff. So I encourage you to try to get a handle, no matter how small it is, but try to get some level of handle on your finances. Dave Ramsey is my guy. And so if you're looking for another podcast this year, I would encourage you to go to the Dave Ramsey litany of podcasts because it would be encouragement to you. The other area is in your time. You need to schedule a calendar because if you're not looking at your life and trying to manage it some way, you're going to have another year where you're at the end of it and you have not accomplished the things that you really wanted to accomplish. And so my encouragement to you is to take time to make a budget, to have a schedule or a calendar to make sure that you're fitting in all that you want. The last area of intellectual sharpening, the idea of sharpening, maybe find an area that you want to get better at this year, perhaps a talent. Maybe there's a new skill you want to pick up this year. Maybe you want to learn how to cook better or to cook, how to cook in an air fryer or something like that. Maybe you want to pick up the piano or pick up a guitar. Maybe this year you're wanting to pick up another job, and so you need to start looking at classes or something like that. But my encouragement to you is find an area where you can sharpen just a little bit better. This year my focus is parenting. I really feel that I need to do more study on that and be more intentional on time with my kids, discussions with my kids, and experiences with them. So that's my aim this year moving forward. So that's the area of intellectual encouragement. The third area, which leads in right in after talking about my boys, is the relational. It said that Jesus grew in his relationships. Sometimes in our lives, things can come at us so fast, and so we get so busy, and we have so many circumstances that are out of our control that, our relationships become just whatever they are. We get unintentional about them, and when we get unintentional about them, they actually become vulnerable. Your relationship with your children becomes vulnerable when you're no longer intentional about building that relationship. Those people don't have to have relationships with you. Your parents don't have to have relationships with you. Your siblings don't have to have relationships with you. Your friends don't have to have relationships with you. So if you want to have these relationships, again, you can't control anybody. You can't make somebody do anything. However, you can be intentional about showing somebody how much they mean to you. So this year, at the end of this year, I've been making some plans for next year, some places I want to take my kids, a place that I want to take my wife. It's been a couple years since we've had just some time with just the two of us. And so I'm trying to be very intentional about investing in those relationships. Also, every year, we make family plans with the rest of our extended family to ensure that, I am blessed right now. I have my entire family in one town. I am abundantly blessed, and I never thought this would ever happen for me. I hope I don't take it for granted and then don't go visit those people just because we're close. What a blessing it is to have them close, and I want to do everything I can to make sure that I'm enjoying the blessing of my life. Your relational goals are very important. Take trips. Make sure you're spending time with people that matter. Who do you need to make sure you see this year? Has there been a friend that you still love dearly but you haven't seen in a while? I encourage you, try to make a time this year where you spend some very important time, very strategic time with them because of a bunch of reasons. But one of them is we don't know when this life is over. If you got a phone call that somebody you cared about a whole lot, that their life ended, would it break your heart? And I'm sure it would. But would you then think that you would have had time to go see them? I think a lot of times we do that. I remember when I first got to Askewville Assembly as the lead pastor, 3 months in to my pastorate here, I was working white-knuckled. I was working hard the whole time. There was no break for anything, no break for family, no break for anything. But my best friend from college, he lost his dad, and his dad was a giant to me. We called him the boss. He was just an incredible man, and Amanda told me I had to go. I went to Florida. I went to Florida for 4 days. I spent a whole week down there. In the middle of the season where I absolutely didn't have room to breathe. And the truth is, when people matter to you, you'll make time for them. So make time for them in the season that you can actually see them. That's my encouragement to you, is spend time relationally with some goals this year. And lastly, the area of spiritual goals. Now, I can't tell you enough. There are 10 major spiritual disciplines that I would love to talk to you about one day, but I'm just going to tell you, every year you should have a prayer plan and a Bible plan. You should plan to pray every single day, and you should plan to read the Word every single day. Now, that could be down to one verse a day, or it could be up to what I'm going to be doing. My pastor did a chronological reading years ago, and I have moved that into a 90-day format. And so my church is going to be reading in the year 2024. In the first 3 months, we're going to read the whole Bible through chronologically. And that's what I plan to do. I've placed that Bible plan on the Bible app, the YouVersion Bible app. And so I'm excited to get to walk through that with my church. We also will be commenting with one another and encouraging one another. And so my encouragement to you is that you would find a plan of some sort. Find something that works with your life that you can make sure that you do every single day. And if there is a third commitment, I would tell you this year, commit to going to church. Commit to being around other people who are going the direction you want to go. That's my big encouragement to you, is that you will commit to a body of believers that will help you, encourage you in the areas that you want to go toward. So in our world today, there's a big word called self-care. And I want you to know that self-care is a very good thing, but part of care is maintenance. A part of care is management. And so you need to fill your life with management, with stewardship, with maintenance, whatever it is. But most likely you're not going to get where you want to go unless you plan where you're going to go. You can't be who you want to be in the next season if you're not who you need to be in this one. So my encouragement to you, at the end of this year, take a few moments, write down some goals, and then what you're going to do to make it better for next year. I shared a few of mine with you. I've got some podcasts I'm going to be picking up. I want to go on walks this year. I want to focus on trips with my boys and conversations I need to have with them. And then I've already told you about the Bible plan. I don't know where you need to start, but my hope is that you will write down a plan, you'll make a direction for yourself, and then you'll head that way with all of your heart, because I know this to be the case. The people who start to realize their destiny because they're following the plan, those are people that everyone needs. We'll see you next year.